Yo, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Sorry, this was kind of a later start than my usual schedule, just because I know I've been kind of beginning between between 2 p.m. and 3. I had to run some errands before the weekend, but I kind of wanted to start this idea of doing VOD reviews on Fridays. So if people have replay codes that they want to send, they could totally send them my way. They can post them in chat when I start these feedback Fridays. I'm thinking of doing these weekly every Friday. I might even play some games beforehand, and then depending on how they go, we might be able to even review those specific games so they're a little more current. Or I can or I can review people's games as they come and send them. I'll set a disclaimer and say I'm definitely not a pro player. I'm definitely not top 500. I'm peak masters on support, and so my knowledge is kind of reserved for between high plat low diamond on other roles, and then also masters on support. And so but I mean, if people that are in the metal ranks bronze, silver, gold, and plat, if they're looking to climb or even just kind of gain a better awareness of how to play the game, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with this kind of content. Also, if you miss this stream, I stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, afternoon around 2-ish right now. That might change, but I'm keeping the Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule for the stream. So if people miss that, they can always check my YouTube channel, where I'm going to try and upload these VOD reviews every Friday or Saturday, depending on how busy I am. And so typically, the way that I select VODs to review is that they kind of fall into different categories. And so one of my buddies, Josiah, who I play with pretty frequently, we've played as a duo together for, I think, honestly, since I've just been playing Overwatch. He's always kind of given me a rule of thumb when it comes to VOD review. I guess if I had to start with what's least important to most important, least important is easy win, like a stomp. You notice how this Oasis game that I'm highlighting right here, we won and it was a 2-0, or this Nepal game, it was a 2-0. That's I guess it's maybe it might have been closer than the scoreline suggests, but because that game wasn't as close, it might not be as important to VOD review. And I guess the second one, or I guess just as low, just as low on the priority, could be a not close loss. If you get stomped 0-2, or on an escort map you get stomped 0-3, you get full capped and then you get full held on the attack. There's not necessarily as much you can learn from those kinds of games, just because there's a lot of factors that go into it. If it's not a close win, you can stomp the other team, and if it's a not close loss, you might just get your cheeks clapped, and that's just kind of how it goes. So the best ones that you want to review, still in order from least important to most important, is the close wins. So a good example is this Kings Row game. It was 3-2, which means it was pretty close, right? We kind of edged out the win. Or this Busan game, we won 2-1, or Havana 2-1. That would actually be a good one, because Havana means that we didn't fully cap the map, but then we still held on second point. So that's a really good example, because those games are typically closer. But the best games to VOD review would be the close losses. So an example this Blizzard World that I played yesterday, it was loss 1-2. Or the one that I'm going to do is this Dorado game, loss of 1-2. And typically, the longer the game, generally the more close it is. Or this Temple of Anubis game. And so I'm going to pick, wow, actually, this is the exact same time, 16:33, for both this Temple of Anubis and Dorado. I'm going to pick Dorado, and we're going to just kind of jump in. Typically, when I do these kinds of VOD reviews, whether it's my own gameplay or a viewer-submitted gameplay, I'm not really going to be reviewing the other my other teammates, just mainly because I don't have any control over what they say. Like, I might like have like an informed opinion on what I could have done better based on what they're doing, but like when I'm VOD reviewing, I typically would want to either review strictly my gameplay or maybe like the person that submitted their gameplay, or even the whatchamacallit, like if people are saying like, hey, we're duoing and we're kind of looking for feedback on the gameplay, that's what we do. So I'm gonna quickly change this and then switch to my perspective here. I think I remember this game. It started out really well, and then it kind of devolved because I specifically remember I was not able to do a lot on Tracer because their Zen was really good. Alright, so their monkey gets caught out, dives. I think his bubble was broken really early for that dive, and he was just shot a bunch of times and hooked. Cheekily peeking this Widow. I think something that I would instantly notice, that I've like picked up from a lot of other, hey, what's up, Aldehyde TV, welcome to the stream. Something that I'm already just picking up, like right off the bat, just kind of watching how I'm peeking with Hanzo, is that like, if you just notice what I'm doing, I'm just doing a very constant like rhythm to my peek, and I'm kind of taking the same angle. Like, to most Widows that really kind of are getting a read on what you're doing, they're probably going to kind of keep peeking that angle and kind of just time their shots to when you peek. And if you're peeking the exact same angle, the same rhythm, eventually you're just going to get domed. So something I could have done better there was mix it up, take advantage of Hanzo's abilities. Like, he can wall climb, he has that little lunge where he can lunge back into cover. So maybe even like mixing it up and kind of like using the verticality, maybe shooting above this wall here, or maybe even like going this way, shooting from here, and then going back here. Like, there's all kinds of things that I could have done to mix it up, and I just didn't do that. So that's something I could have definitely done better as Hanzo there. Good awareness of the Lucio. Using stereo headphones to their full potential. I should not have shot the deflecting Genji. That could have ended badly for a teammate. I kind of got lucky there. I did drop to the Mega, and I did get the kill on the Genji, but maybe instead of dropping there, I should have maybe tried to regroup with my team, just because there was a risk of getting dove by the Genji there. Doing my best to break the bubble, the Winston. Honestly, like other people might say differently, but when you're playing a DPS that has like really good potential for shield break, if there's a monkey and he dives in and uses bubble, you should always try and break that bubble priority, just because if your tank line is caught in it, then your healers can't heal them unless it's like a mercy beam, and even that, it's not going to be that much healing if they're getting dove by Winston. This is a crazy dive on the Widow there. I should not be necessarily pushing through this here. I maybe should have gone back high ground to get a better angle from the high ground, but I'm playing very confident. Do I kill this? Do I kill this Genji? Okay, I just melee him. Meanwhile, the enemy team is pushing my team. Well, I guess it works out. We managed to find the kills. Dang, all that practice is kind of paying off on that aim trainer Havana map. See through the darkness. Oh wow. Okay, and we find the. Okay, something I'm already kind of noticing about my positioning is that I'm not necessarily being the most proactive. Like, I've been finding picks, I've been landing my shots, so ideally, I'm like losing a lot of damage potential by just kind of hanging around here. Like, I use my mobility to like go down here, and now I'm like walking up. I could even be a little more proactive now that I know that I just killed that Widow. I could probably take an aggressive position here to get some more shots off and more pick potential from this position. And I have my mobility, and I know my team is pushing under here. So, like, if I do need help, like, I could either drop down or even go back through this hallway here.
My ultimate is ready. By the dragon.
But I think what I want to do is kind of see what kind of went wrong, because I think this is kind of where we lost the game. Okay. So this is kind of where I think we lost the point. So let me kind of investigate what's going on with the rest of my team here. and then we can kind of go from there and see what maybe I could have done differently. Okay, so it was a good rotation for me to head back because I saw the rest of the team rotating. Our Zarya's kind of caught out in no man's land, but I think she manages to come back. Yeah, that... Okay. Okay, so the whole hog pushes two of their team into... I think... Was it... What happens here? Oh, that's not me. I might have also been waiting for a grab opportunity. Honestly, I think that this might have been a really good opportunity to grab. I'm almost dead, but I think like a proactive grab here. I don't know if I should have jumped the gun here with maybe just throwing a dragon. Maybe it's good that I saved it. But yeah. I think unfortunately when I was retreating this way, two of the enemy team got pushed into my position and I ended up falling along with the BAP. But I think this might have just been a bad rotation just because we were split already and Zarya was kind of using a lot of like resources to even just try and regroup with the team. We used the Immortality field early, but I think they used a lot of ults there. They pretty much used... They used Blade, they used Beat. They're coming up on Nano and Sights. That was a good dive by our monkey to find this, to find the Lucio. Definitely slowed down their push. That's a really good dive by our monkey to use the Valking Mercy to counteract that Sight so they don't get a proactive position. This is definitely like disjointed on like how spread out the enemy team is. Don't exactly know why we used Immortality field there. Good attempt at peel from our monkey, but he had primal. There's just a lot of weird ult usage being being utilized here. See, okay. I think what was happening here is that we kind of won the fight, but it was kind of like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, it was like one of those like half-assed fights that we won where like, yeah, we got kills, but I felt like we didn't necessarily like take the time to recover into an advantageous position for when they regrouped. So what would happen is that after we got more kills, I think we kind of just continued to bleed forward, and then one by one, they would just invest more, and they would find the counter kills, and because they already have people on cart, they already have people coming back from spawn, they eventually would just get so much space because of this Nano Monkey, his primal back there. Alright, we find their support and monkey. And our monkey's buying a lot of space. Oh, I hear the widow. Alright. I think I might get Joe here. Oh, I get... That's nice. Those really good heals from our Mercy. I think instead of doing the cool guys don't look at explosions thing like I did right there, I think it might have been better to stay and like use the cover of the Winston bubble to like continue to fire into the grab, and I would have been able to burn down maybe more of that beat, like just by landing a couple storm arrow headshots, and actually like maybe gotten more value. Like, again, Hanzo is not really my main hero, but that's something I realized I could have definitely done better and been more proactive to my team, is just, like, adding more damage. Like, just because I drag in the grab doesn't mean I can't continue to shoot. Because this beat, like, that beat basically saved them. It negated 2 of our ultimates. It was well-timed by their Lucio, and I could have counteracted that by just shooting. Meanwhile, their Widow actually got the memo and fired into our grab and managed to pick our soldier. Monkey seems to be doing a good job of diving. I think we still win that fight, and they don't necessarily get that much value out of that grab because we managed to. We managed to res the soldier, and we get a pick onto their team. Okay, we're using visor now. trying to hit this monkey who has such a fat hitbox, but I just can't hit him. Okay. I think it might have been more proactive to kind of be tracking better of when the Widow used sights, and then what I could have done was maybe save my Sonic for when she had sights, and maybe like throw it in the general direction where I think she is. Kind of jiggle peeking her to see if I can bait out a couple shots, but I'm not that confident in my Hanzo ability to duel a Widow yet. Alright, that was kind of nice. That was good patience. That was a good immortality field, too. I remember in this game, it always felt like this monkey had primal. He did manage to kill our Bab. He waited till he used his immo field, and then he just juggled him into the bank.
60 seconds remaining.
I think we do find the res, though.
See through the dragon's eyes.
Alright, so we're holding pretty well. Like, this is definitely a good hold. Do we full hold them here?
Let me get your touch back. 10 seconds. This is not your time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is where there was a whiffed grab, and I still just instinctually fired my dragon at it, even though I even saw that it was in there. It might have been better to hang back, and knowing that the grab was wide, it might have been better to try and use my dragon to kind of push them off cart and give us more space. Yeah, just because yeah, that was a mistake there. Like, I can't necessarily place all the blame on Zarya for throwing a wide grab. I'm sure that she had her reasons for doing so. She maybe thought she had something, but it was definitely on me to see that there wasn't anyone in that grab and not throw my dragon in there. Especially because dragon is such a good, like, area denial tool. I think I swapped Tracer here, so let's see what happens.
Heroes never die.
Donate some nice energy to Zarya. Oh, okay, and then they C9. Yeah. How did they C9 here? So it looks like Zarya pushed them back, or maybe they just didn't know. Let's reverse and hold at 0.25. Enhance. Okay, so they kill our monkey. Our Zarya's purpled. Okay. You want to get a quick hot tidbit for Mercy players out there that you can always utilize. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so watch this. So the Mercy beam goes on to our Zarya after she is purpled, right? If you're Mercy and you see someone get purpled, like in this case, Zarya has her self bubble, I think. Is it even on cooldown? It might be on cooldown. No, she has her personal bubble, so she could have cleansed that. But rule of thumb is if you see someone that you're pocketing get purpled, like it is just a waste of your resources to heal them because they just can't get healed unless that gets cleansed somehow. So in a pinch, you can at least damage boost them while they're purple, so you're actually contributing something. That's just a hot tidbit for any Mercy players out there. If you see someone get purpled, yeah, it's scary, I know, and like sometimes when that critical symbol shows up, it's very stressful, but what you always want to do is just damage boost them because that can give them the extra edge, and you never know. Maybe they can come up clutch and out mechanic them, and that damage boost gives them the edge they need to win that duel. And then, of course, if they cleanse it, then obviously then you go back to healing. Like she does that. I think like that would have made more sense for the Mercy to heal her if they didn't C9. But I guess they just kind of got intimidated by the Zarya, or they might have just not been realizing that overtime was ticking down, tunnel visioning there. All right, so what do I pick? Do I pick Widow here? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that would have been an excellent pick if I hit it. Oh, is this where... Yeah, this is when one of their supports disconnects. Or no, they were just AFK. Okay, I missed that shot too. I need to really practice more of my hook shots all around my Widow accuracy. It's just so rusty. Okay, that was a good pick though on the Ashe. I think right about here, I don't know if I do. Okay, I do this. I'd go for a more... See, okay, why do I do this? Like, I know I'm low on heals, but I'm getting healed by my Mercy now. I'm going to jump back down here to a sightline that's very subpar. I should have just stayed here. Like, maybe dueled this Ana, or at least tried to go for a shot. Maybe repositioned up here. Because I know our Hanzo's providing crossfire from this angle, so he has an angle on the Monkey and the Ana. So it might have been better to just draw some attention this way, because maybe our Hanzo would have gotten a pick. Do I try to do that and just, like, fail? Whoops. Go back. Back. Oh, I do that, but I don't hold it for long. Okay, I go for this Diva. I shoot the Monkey bubble. Yeah, my Widow positioning is kind of awk. Oh, dang, I missed the... Am I moving when I take the shot, too? I think I am. Let me see. I am walking to my left. I'm holding A as I take this shot. Yeah, something I'm trying to get better at is just working to my muscle memory of not moving when I take Widow shots. Believe it or not, it's so much easier when you're not moving and actively working against yourself when you're aiming. I think I'm trying to say, oh my gosh, I almost get caught. Yeah, I think this is when I'm like... the Widow's not really working. I think this is when I should have just decided to switch. My positioning is really weird. Yeah, I'm not landing my hook shots. Just ripping apart the air molecules one by one. Okay, there's a good hit marker. not a critical. I mean, but I guess that's like the bare minimum that I should be doing, but oh, okay. Active pressure on the Ana through that sight line, but still like I'm not necessarily doing much. I'm landing body shots, but I'm not getting picks, and that should be what I'm doing as Widow. Yeah, I think I should have switched at this point. I think I do. I think I'm smart. I hope I'm smart. Oh, no, I'm getting rezzed. Okay. I wasn't in voice chat because maybe this was also the thing where, like, something happened with my Overwatch and, like, something crapped out and I wasn't able to join voice. But, like, if you get the chance, like, and you do have a Mercy and they're in voice and you're intending to switch, even, like, before, like, you engage or die, like, it could be good to let your team know that you're thinking about switching so they don't accidentally burn a res on you and then now, like, everyone's unhappy. Oh, that would have been a headshot if the bubble didn't save him. Oh, look, we get a dragon combo, and I think we win here. I get some damage. Do I kill this Ana? Wow, okay, cool. I get a pick. Nice. And instead of maybe trying to take a shot at the Lucio... Okay, that was cool. That was nice. That was nice. Alright, I don't know what I was choosing to do here at this position. I should have maybe taken a position back up at the window. Our Mercy's going for him. Oh, but she dies. Oh, man. I think I'd try to go really aggressive. Like, I don't know what I'm doing there. I think at that point, too, I was also just like, bro, I just want to switch off Widow, so I'm going to pop this ult and just, like, yeet myself into the enemy team, which is, I don't know. Probably could have made better decisions there. But doing my best to help. Oh, that was a really good save on our Zarya from that hook. I think she was going to get juggled to death. Okay. So I'm going to go on a flank, and I think when I come up here, their soldier sees me. I think I remember that. Like, he sees me coming up, and he takes a couple shots at me. Yeah. Yeah, so I go under and regroup with my team. Do I try to go for them on a flank through the bank? Oh no, I'm back with my team and try to follow up on this monkey. Okay, and now I go for the flank, right? After going for the mega? Okay, sweet. And is this where I just start feeding the Zen? I think this is where I just start feeding the Zen and just losing the aim duel. Ouch. Okay. I think this is just a really good example of trigger discipline that I should get better at with Tracer. I honestly think that from where I was before I started shooting, I could have easily gotten maybe a little closer, maybe even like right about here, or even like right next to them, because like even with a field of view of like 103, I think that like I should play a little more. Like when you're playing with Tracer, like you want to have the confidence to be able to play with absolutely like no fear. And I think for me, I was playing with fear. Like look at this. Like I don't decide between the Ashe or the Ana, which leads me to start shooting at the Ana and then readjust mid-clip to the Ashe, which is just not good. My target selection was not optimal, and I could have even closed the gap to be a little closer, because look where this Ashe is looking. Like, she only turned after I started shooting at her from, like, this far away, dude. I could have been, like, right here at the wall, and I think I could have been able to get a one clip, and by that time, I would have been like, okay, I've chosen my target. I'm not going for the Ana. I'm going for this Ashe. And then after I find the pick, they don't have a Mercy to res. That's when I can maybe stick around, hedge my bets, or just retreat, because now people are going to start to fall back, or the healers are going to be like, oh, there's a Tracer in our backline. So I definitely could have played that a lot better. And even though I didn't even find the pick, I wore out my welcome so fast, because now she has an orb on her, and all three of these people were then looking at me. That was really like poor execution and poor choices on my part. So I think in the future, like a note that I want to make is that when I'm playing Tracer, I want to go in with a game plan. I don't want to use my cooldowns for nothing. I want to go in and say, okay, what's my target? Like, who do I want to dive, right? And then I want to make sure, be patient, have that trigger discipline, and be like, all right, next time when I go in, and if I have to choose between a certain target, I'm going to go for the one that's not jumping up and down. I'm going to go for the one that's like still, maybe scoped in, easy target to one clip, close the gap, and don't be afraid, because I have recall, you know? All right. Also, just in the moment, I think it might have seemed like a good idea, but now I'm realizing, like, this already, like, even just watching this, because when you're in the game, it's so different. Hey, Miayam, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the VOD review. I'm reviewing one of my comp games from, I think it was yesterday. No, not Wednesday stream. So I think what's interesting here that I'm already noticing, and people will tend not to notice their mistakes as much because you're tunnel visioned on the game. You're focused on doing what you can to win. But now that we're in this space, I'm already noticing I have literally just used the same flank angle twice in a row. Any intelligent player is going to be like, well, their Tracer came from this direction before, so I think what their healers are already doing is that they're positioning back. They're now having a sightline to, like, my team, their team, and this flank angle. So me literally doing this just shows that I have learned nothing from my last engage. Not to mention, I think okay, so this still might have worked out in our favor, because this was actually like a misplay on their part, where their Zen almost died, so he popped Trance, and their Ana is like, oh my gosh, my Zen is about to die, I'm going to use Nano. So now they have an amazing, sparkly, glowy Nano Trance, so radiant. He's one with Tranquility. He's so tranquil. Meanwhile, I am not, because I burned Recall when I had 2 blinks. Okay. Again, cooldown management. You heard it here first, and this is why I'm... See, again, I'm, like, not, like... Granted, it is a Nano Zen, and so, like, one dink would probably kill me. Like... So... But I did have the safety of the monkey bubble. Like, I'm playing with so much fear. Like, I'm playing so far. Granted, I have a Moira to help me, and I think I do find the pick here. And then afterwards, I just get domed by their Ashe. Like, I think I just need to, like, in the future, I need to mix it up when it comes to my flank angles, and also play with a lot less fear, because, like, with Tracer, her spread is a significant like contributor to her damage fall off, and so you want to get in the face, like barrel stuff them, especially when it's someone like Ashe. You know, like Ashe is like not really someone that's advantageous in the close range, aside from their coach gun. Oh yeah, this was a fight where I thought that like maybe we could edge it out, like after I got picked, but like it was 2v2, right? Oh yeah, just busted down on our Hanzo, on Poop Smith. I remember that name. And then by that time, their DPS comes back on Tracer. Also, something that I just should have done because I'm playing a dive hero is probably just paid attention to what our Monkey and Devo were doing. Like, even if both of our tanks aren't coordinated, I could have at least followed maybe, like, one of our tanks. Interesting, okay. Just melee into Oblivion and it finds a kill. Even though that wasn't me, the final blow. It was Mercy Simp on the Zen. Yeah, see, like, right now, I could be going in with our... Like, and I'm using the same flank angle again. Like, by this time, their Zen knows I'm here. Their Ashe knows I'm here. I'm discorded. And do I choose to leave? No, I chose to 1v1 the Zen and take this duel where, like, he already knows what's up. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, no. What I should have done is maybe even, like, taken a flank angle. I could have just blinked all the way in here. Maybe tried to, like, fire down from the high ground, gotten a good angle on the Zen. Or even just followed up with my Monkey, because we're both dive heroes, and that would have been better play on my part. I emote in spawn. Okay, that was cool. Poop Smith switches to the soldier. I think that's something that I would have opted to switch to just because I felt like my flanks on Tracer just were not working at this point. Granted, now that we watched the replay, I could give you like all the reasons why this isn't working. It wasn't just that I was losing the duels, because in the stream I was just tunnel visioned so hard that I was like, oh man, I'm just sucking. I'm losing these duels against the Zen. But I'm also realizing by watching the replay, I wasn't setting myself up to succeed. I wasn't taking the duel with the most advantages I could have been. See, okay, like, while our diva goes in, I literally give away my position and where I'm going by shooting at the Zen before even I'm at a distance where I can reasonably do any damage to him. I think now, oh, I could have, like, if I out-aimed him there, I think I might have been able to get the kill. But I do get him to use trance, and now I'm focusing Bob. I think by this time, what I should have done is, I want to see where they are. Their Ashe is behind. I should have... I don't know. At this point, if she shot at me, I might have wanted to take the duel versus her. Or, because I see that their whole team is being tranced over here, maybe that's when I could do this and then go to their Ana who's vulnerable. That could have been a good play, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, do I have pulse? I don't. I'm almost there, though. Man, I'm really going for the Zen. Poop Smith finishes the kill, and I don't have recall, and I die to the Bob. Yeah, honestly, like, if Bob was there, I should not have been aggressive and taken an angle where the Bob had a sightline. I think I should have maybe tried to do the Ana, because best case scenario, Bob doesn't see me because he's over here behind this wall, and while I'm occupying this Ana's attention, after the trance runs out, maybe my team could have had a better chance, because maybe she wouldn't have nanoed this diva. Maybe her attention would have been so focused on me trying to dive her that, I don't know, it could have like turned her attention elsewhere and maybe given my team a better chance. But I'm just tunnel visioning on this Zen, mainly because I think I'm just so salty that he killed me a bunch of times. Well done, Benjamin69. Well done. Okay, but this here... Oh, dang. Yeah, it looked like we had a good chance here, but our Moira was super low. She fell to... Yeah, the Ana who's just back here uncontested. I think... Oh, man, it might have just been a different story if I, like, just had better target priority. Because I think Zen, in most cases, it's a good choice to dive, mainly because Zen is easily diveable, and he is very vulnerable. But, like... I think if I had more time to, like, if I really wanted to assess the situation, it would have been a better choice. That Ana's living the dream. Yeah, honestly, like, this is what all Ana's dream about. You're literally sitting back here. You're surrounded by cover. granted, your diva's behind the cart and discorded, so you can't really get her, but you're literally free to do damage on the enemy team. Like, this is a great sightline. Also, Busted is having the time of their life right now. Like, God knows how they got back here, and they're just getting away with it. I think our Zen's about to die. Yeah. Like, it's just that, like, I think it could have been a different story if I just had better target priority. Because that Ana is the one that found the pick on our main healer, Rogue, playing Moira. Yeah, and then she gets the anti, like, oh man. Wah wah. Yeah, and look, like the Ashe wasn't dealt with. I could have gone for her or the Ana. I think Ana would have been more important, maybe, and then in comms, I probably should have mentioned something like, oh, there's an Ashe behind us. Yeah. Oh, interesting. For some reason, I thought that she ate my pulse at the very end. All right, what do I do here? In my final moments, my last breath, my swan song, what do I do? I don't touch cart. How sad. Not to throw Johns out there, but I do promise that my Tracer isn't always this bad, but I will also say on watching this VOD review, there are definitely like big glaring issues that I should definitely fix in the future if I want to get better at Tracer. And that's the point of these VOD reviews, you know? Like, I don't want these VOD reviews to ever turn into a thing where I'm like roasting teammates. You know, granted, in VOD reviews, it can be very easy to spot what mistakes that your teammates do, but the general rule of thumb is at the end of the day in this game, while it is a team game, you can only control what you do. You only have control over like what your decisions are and how to improve your mistakes, right? And even if your teammates do make a mistake, that happens, because look how many mistakes I did. And granted, maybe it was fine that I wasn't in chat, that I was having chat issues, because maybe my teammate was like, OMG, what the heck is this Tracer doing, bro? Right? I probably would have said the same thing if I had a Tracer on my team that was doing the things that I was doing, because I was taking the same flank routes, giving away my position. And while I did have the surprise in some scenarios, I didn't continue to give myself the best like chances and advantages as possible. You gotta love flanks where it's like, how the F did that person get all the way over there and no one said anything? It happened to me in a game the other day. May just crouched right behind her team. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, like, crouching is, I mean, it's a good tactic because it works, right? Like, it's one of those things where like it significantly reduces the noise, and that's also kind of why you really want to keep track of your like of the enemy team and what they're running and kind of where they're coming with. Sabrani, I think I picked up some tips for next time I play Tracer. Yeah, honestly, Sabrani, just become the next the Tracer god. Like, because like, if you can do it on Mercy, then I think you can do it on any hero, honestly. Because Mercy, like, I know there's people out there that say that Mercy is like, oh, you don't need mechanics. But like, I think Mercy is like very hard to get value when you're solo queuing because it relies so much on communication. But I think Mercy is also like a hero that, yeah, yeah, the 800-hour Mercy, like, yeah, like, honestly, I feel like if you have no fear to whip out the Caduceus Glock and just like go ham on the enemy team, I think that's a good trait, like, that applies to a Tracer. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, and I just think that like Mercy players, like the best Mercy players are the ones that make like really good decisions, like with like split second like decision making time. And I think in some ways that can translate over to Tracer because you have to be thinking like on your toes, like in some ways like a few steps ahead. And you should be doing that as Tracer. I don't necessarily am. I'm definitely not at that point yet. Mercy is for masochists. I feel like generally though, at this point, if you're playing Overwatch, I think everyone has a degree of masochist in them because, like, you know, is that a hot take? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. But I don't know. But yeah, like, I think that there was definitely some things that I could have done better on Tracer, and but from what I was saying before is that when you're looking out for flanks, like if I'm playing a flanker hero like Tracer, it's also my job because I have like an angle on the other enemy team that I don't really know what they're doing, or it's if my team doesn't know what they're doing, then it's my job to try and get a sense of what they're doing. So if I'm flanking them and I catch one of their DPS going for a flank, I should tell them, hey, Ryan is going on a flank. You guys should look for that. Or if you haven't seen their Mei in a while, like, for example, Miaoyan, when you were talking about how there was, like, a Mei that just crouched behind your team, like, if you don't see the Mei or, like, you count, like, it's not Overwatch 2 yet, so if there's 5 people on the other team, you're like, wait, where's the 6th person? Guys, we should be on the lookout for, like, where those people are, especially if they have, like, a Junkrat, because that means they're probably going for a tire play. If it's a Reaper, it probably means that they're going for a Death Blossom. You know, there's just all kinds of things. And honestly, like, any hero can do a flank play, but the best thing to do is just, like, use that awareness, especially if you're playing a character that has a wide field of view of your team. Like, best example is if you're playing Ana or a healer that, like, tends to play in the back, you see everything. Tanks only tend to see the front line. Off tanks kind of have to check both, because, like, they're kind of the bridge point between the front and the back line. But yeah, like, it is big. Thankfully, I did manage the sleeper and call the team to get here. See, that's good. If you do manage to land the sleep, props to you. Hopefully your team actually knows how to, like, listen when you're going, okay, 3, 2, 1, killer, you know, because I can't tell you how many times I'm like, all right, I slept someone, and then the Moira comes in and goes like, and then wakes them up, and then they use a cooldown, and then they're like, why'd you do that? But that's just how it is. Or it's sadists. It is a hot take. I mean, I don't know. I think, see, there are times where Overwatch can feel like it's like, oh, this is what I need, self-care. And then there are times where I'm like, oof, I think uninstalling that game is self-care. But, you know, that's how it goes, right? You know, sometimes nothing's perfect. Everything in moderation. Yeah, oh my gosh, look at how far I was from cart. But granted, I was the last person alive, but that's the VOD review for this. I think, like, this is a really good example of like key mistakes. Like with Hanzo, I noticed, like, oh, I should be using my ability, my movement abilities to kind of mix up where I'm peeking, especially if I'm playing against a Widow. Like, while I was landing my shots, I definitely could have been taking more proactive approaches because I was landing my shots. Like, when you have that kind of confidence, you should play with that confidence. Like, I know a lot of Overwatch players will talk about, it's called playing dumb, where you basically, like, play with so much confidence that you see how much you can get away with, right? Until the enemy punishes you, and then if they punish you, that's when you kind of dial it back and play a little bit, like, smarter with still that confidence there. But I think for me, something I want to focus on with Tracer is target prioritization and trying to get the most advantages I can out of a situation. And so that's the VOD review. If people are just tuning in right now and they missed it, I'm going to edit it down and see if I can upload it on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to try to do these every Friday for quote-unquote Feedback Friday. And if people also have their own VOD reviews that they want to send me, like, feel free to send me a replay code, and then I'd love to do a VOD review for that specific person. Just because, like, at the end of the day, you know, Overwatch is a community, and at the end of the day, we should all be trying to make one another better, you know, and also not be toxic, because toxicity sucks.